Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Anthony Anthem, aka Black Fabio, aka the Midnight Marauder, aka Rapidash, aka Making a Splash, aka Mr. AKA. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so we got a special guest today. May I have you state your name, my dude?
My name is Malcolm, aka Fat Thor, aka the Green Ranger, aka Mr. Nintendo Switch, and I ran out of AKAs. And I like AKAs too, they're cute. Anywho,
All right. Well then, aka Malcolm Banks is in the building. This is already going to be an exciting podcast because I already got somebody ready to do some AKAs.
let's do
Mr.
it.
Banks, what is going on, my dude?
Nothing much, man. Just enjoying the good old off-brand soda on a good off day.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. Enjoying the simple things in life. So,
Most
man,
definitely.
tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
My name is Malcolm Banks, as you all guys have already heard. I am from the one and only Mobile, Alabama, the birthplace of Mardi Gras. Just having a good time, living in my world, doing what I do. I'm the creator and founder of Fandoms Anonymous, a multifaceted media organization located out of Alabama. We go all over the Quad State area, going to different comic conventions. We push out all types of geek and nerdy content about some of your favorite movies, TV shows, and topics and news. And we just have a good time doing what we do, man. We're staying relevant.
Hey, okay, that's what I'm talking about. So you're a big comic book fan or superhero fan?
Most definitely, man.
Okay, I can dig it. All right, if you can have your Mount Rushmore superheroes, like top five, who's going on
Top
Mount
five.
Rushmore? Yes, sir.
All right. Number Green Lantern. Okay. The
Which
Green
one?
Power. Hal Jordan.
Perfect. Okay.
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 Green Power Ranger.
So,
Who else going up there? Shoot. Oh, you caught me in a bind now. I'm gonna have to go with my boy Bear Allen, the Flash.
okay.
So I can count. They give me three. So I'm missing two. Ooh, oh, this is a toughie. This
It's
is a toughie.
cue
Yikes.
cue the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music.
Right, right. Dude. Oh man, that's three. Ooh,
It's
don't
almost
want to
here.
do. Don't do I have a fourth and a fifth? I mean, like those are my three people right there. I don't like to name people just for naming sake. Like they really got to be my people. You know what I'm saying?
So
Um,
you okay? So you're a
yeah,
big fan of the DC
yeah.
universe.
Yeah, I like DC. I watch a lot of DC content, and the movies still suck, but I still watch a lot of DC content.
Oh man, at least you're one of those fans that admit that the movies suck. No, the
Right.
cartoon movies are amazing.
Oh, epic. If whoever's writing that needs to write the movies, okay? That's how that should go.
Yes,
Like
that's
before
what
we
needs
started
to
this
happen.
conversation, I was watching Arrow. So I keep up with my DC content. A lot of people think I'm a DC hater, but they don't understand that I watch more DC content than I do Marvel content.
Hey, that's quite understand. Well, people don't understand though. Like, there's just some things that DC hits on that's just amazing. They've always been good at TV shows.
Right, right.
They've, they've always been good at comic content, and they've also been really good when it comes to their games and when it comes to their cartoon movies. Heck, I got Wonder Woman sitting in front of me right now. I got the cartoon movie of Wonder Woman.
Hey, it's lit.
It's really lit. So that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite superheroes in my top five. Right
Most
there.
definitely.
I love Wonder Woman. Yeah. Hey, beside every strong man, there's a strong woman.
There you go.
And yes, sir. I've always symbolized that. And plus, one thing people don't understand is Wonder Woman also has a black counterpart. So that's another
Uh-oh.
reason why. So yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
So yeah, I'm a fan of both of those ladies.
most definitely.
But yeah, so hey, that's what's up though, man. Like I ain't got nothing against DC, man. The first thing I ever watched that was superhero oriented was the old school Batman show.
Right.
Um, The old
That was
animated
everybody.
series. Yeah, man. Like the theatrics, the theme song. It was by WB. Like
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
was. It was gritty, but it was still cool as a kid to watch. That was my
Definitely.
show.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean that was the first. That was the first time everybody saw Harley Quinn before it became everybody got a costume for Harley Quinn at Halloween.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, okay. Sure. So what else are you into, my man? Cause we can talk about DC all day. Like straight up, cause like I'm actually trying to read this new Batman comic
Hmm.
that a cousin that put me on, and it's from the new universe. One sec. I want to see if I can grab it real quick. 1 second. Testing. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Hold up. Actually, just finished it too. It's from the new 52.
Hmm.
The court. It's the volume 1, the Court of the Owls.
Oh man, quarter hours. That's a serious storyline.
Man, this hits hard, man. Like I I had never seen Batman go through this. I've seen him go through some things,
Right. Right.
but I'm not gonna give any spoilers away. But I'm
Most
telling
definitely.
you right now, if you're a DC fan, go pick this up. Or heck, if you're not even a fan of DC, this might make you a fan of DC. The
Hmm.
illustration's amazing. The story's great. It's gritty. It's hey, it's a little scary too.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So so tell me a little bit more about yourself, man. What else are you into?
My biggest thing is Power Rangers. If anybody knows me, Power Rangers is my thing. I am a straight up Power Rangers head, like 24/7. I can watch Power Rangers all day long if I had the opportunity to. So Power Rangers has always been my thing because it was my first love when it came to um, watching stuff back in the day. It was the first thing that I was able to identify with on television. So heavy Power Rangers fan, heavy Power Rangers fan. I've interviewed a high majority of the original Power Rangers cast. So yeah,
Mm.
uh, those are my peoples, my peoples.
Okay, so you met Jason David Frank, and
Multiple times.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome because I've always found him to be. I mean, he's literally in a real life a Power Ranger in his own
yeah,
aspect.
he is, man. Multiple, got several interviews with him on my channel.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, MMA fighter, always practicing martial arts. He's always doing like kind of like indie cuts. Um, Another thing I like about him, he was actually helping with the power. What was it? What's it called? The Power Grid
Yeah,
series. Yes,
Beyond the
like
Grid.
I like. Yeah, Beyond the Grid, because like I
Mm.
just played the game they just put out for that. Um, like it was like a couple days ago. Actually,
Yeah,
had fun
I
playing
have
that.
that game.
That game was fun. I'm glad they updated it finally.
Most definitely.
Like,
I knew it was going to take them a minute to start doing some updates, and that was going to be perfectly fine with me. I see nothing wrong with having to do updates.
yeah. So I mean, it's got a story mode and everything. It's fun. I'm actually enjoying
Right,
it.
right,
It's like Marvel versus Capcom on cocaine,
right.
basically. If that's the best way to explain that.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
I got a friend that you would actually love. His name is Austin. He also
Uh-huh.
goes by Kaiser, and he is a huge Power Rangers buff himself. Like he
Right,
watches the Japanese side, he watches the American side.
right,
So he loves like Super Sentai's his thing. So for him, like you guys will probably be able to have dialogue for like 20 years. Like he's
right,
got the
right.
helmets, the dragon dagger, all that kind of stuff, man. Like he's
I actually
like,
have a signed 3D printed um, Green Ranger helmet signed by Jason David Frank.
you know, he would scream like a schoolgirl if he knew you had that.
Right.
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna let you know right now. Shout out to Kaiser, the Rise of the Gamers, on his channel. Go check it out. But yeah, bro, that like I've always thought Power Rangers was dope. I feel like people don't give it enough credit. Like
Hmm.
I like they don't realize it's like inspired a lot of people's childhoods.
It
Uh,
really has. It really has. It was a pivotal thing for me in my life growing up. Like I said, it was a thing I was able to identify with. Growing up with an older sister, but not having any others. I didn't have my move. It was on the two of us. So Power Rangers was that thing that I could, have to myself and have a good time and watch it, and I still watch it to this day.
there's nothing wrong with that, man. I feel like if you're a fan, you a fan, man. Like
Hmm.
I've seen, I think it's a culture, man. I mean, don't they have like a Power Rangers con or something like that?
Multiple. Speaking of, I'll be at Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta, June 21st through 23rd. The channel, the organization, we will be there.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
about to be lit, y'all.
We're gonna be in the building, man. We'll have a good time.
Hey, that sounds awesome. I wouldn't mind checking out one of those events myself one of these days. I just because always interested in digging deep into a culture, man. Because like I'm gonna be honest. Like the last series I watched was I think it was gonna have to be Mystic. That was about as far as I've gotten in the last while. Yeah, I'm a fan of the show myself. It's
Yeah,
just
you,
I,
you need to come on back home, catch up, man.
I'm
You miss.
telling you, man, I need to. Because like it's getting crazier in the universe. Like I'm telling you, they got space pirates and stuff now and all kinds of stuff. I was like, dang, we're
Oh
getting
yeah,
out
man.
there.
It's legit. It's legit.
Yeah, man. I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. Like, because like I got that, and then my homeboy is trying to get me in the Kamen Rider. Um, it's so like, because I used to watch like the old school ones, like the old school like '80s version, like the Showa era and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
I was into the Ultramans and stuff and all that
Of
because
course,
like
of
back in the day,
course.
you remember when Sci-Fi Channel was playing all the old school
Oh yeah.
like like the Japanese combat shows and stuff like that, all the giant monsters and Ultraman and like a Kiter and all them. That was my
Right, right.
thing. Yeah, man. So I got nothing but love for that, man. That was like my childhood, bro. Because sci-fi was playing some dope stuff back in the day. It was like it'd be some bad dubbing, looking like a karate movie,
Exactly.
but it was just like, oh man, this is cool. Oh shoot, he turned into a what? Is he a
Turn
Power
into a
Ranger?
whole spider.
Like shoot, like the Japanese Spider-Man show and all that.
Right,
Man,
right.
I was like, dang, Spider-Man has a Zord too.
Old school.
Old school,
Which
bro.
some of that was assisted in writing by Stan Lee. So Stan Lee was part of that project.
See, that's awesome, and rest in peace, Stan.
Most
Man,
definitely.
it's still unreal that he's not around anymore.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, for me, it was one of those things where it's like, it was coming. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the, like, it was soon to be coming. You know, it was just a matter of when. So when it happened, I didn't necessarily, it didn't hit me as hard because it was like, yeah, it's eventually gonna come. You know.
mm, I completely agree. But I'm not gonna lie though. It's just like it's weird that eventually, like we're at the last Avengers movie. That was his last appearance, right?
Yeah, that was his last pre-film cameo, and the people over at Marvel, they knew it was coming too, so that's why they started preparing and start filming multiple cameos, even for movies that weren't even necessarily put together fully yet. You know,
Makes sense. I mean, that was smart on their part. I mean, heck, he even showed up in the Teen Titans Go movie.
right, right. He's the king of cameos.
Evil Wolf. So people have been trying to petition that Deadpool should show up in all the movies now.
True, and I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Deadpool going forward? Disney has already made everybody aware that they're not going to change the working mechanics of Deadpool. So I'm just ready to see where it's going to go.
Okay, that's good news.
Hmm.
I was wondering what they were going to do since Disney has literally monopolized everything.
Well, let me say this. I don't see that Disney has monopolized everything. What I see is just a sign of the times. A monopoly is, in my mind, is when you force your way into something and you force something to happen. What a lot of people miss, and I believe a lot of people know, but they fail to accept it, is that Fox wanted to sell. You get what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
it's what they wanted to do. This is not, this isn't something that they were just like, we're gonna take over the world. No, this is what Fox wanted to do. At the end of the day, they said that they no longer wanted to do movies and television to a degree. They said that, they made their decision. So a lot of people they're failing to just accept that and be honest about it, and realize that Disney is not monopolizing; they're just taking opportunity that was given to them. It'd have been different if Disney would just forced their hand on some stuff and were like, "Yeah, we're going to do this because we're Disney." That's not the case at all. Fox was like, "We don't want this anymore. We
I
don't
mean,
want to do this type of stuff anymore." They made it clear. And I think people fail so much. They fail so much to realize that. And that aggravates me to a degree where we live in a world now where fandom people pay attention to the things that they want to pay attention to in the fandom rather than the facts. And
you
to
know
me,
what?
that's stupid.
That's a good point. Well then, excuse me on that one. Cause like I'm still like for me like I thought it was more of a monopoly. Cause like I'm not gonna sit here in front like I was like every other fan. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm kind of ignorant to that
Right?
aspect. But I'm not gonna lie. Like it's crazy though that Disney is literally like jumped in and grabbed everything from in the pot, man. I'm not gonna sit
Right.
here and be like, oh, I'm against it. No, because I know what that means. It's go time. They got better funding.
Yeah,
They
better
can make
funding.
things happen. And then,
A lot more
uh,
projects can be done the right way.
uh
Stuff like that. Especially when we talk about X-Men. X-Men can now be done the right way. It can be done the proper way.
yeah,
With a valuable storyline and all that jazz. And people fail to realize that. And that's what sucks, that we live in a world now where people pay attention and agree to the things that they want to agree to, rather than the facts of what's actually out there. That's what makes it stupid in my eyes.
truth, very very true. I'm gonna sit here and say this because like one thing that doesn't make me worried about it's just like we're gonna get more content from this.
Hmm.
Uh, and people don't realize that means we could have X-Men characters in like future Avenger type projects.
Hmm.
Like, because like people don't realize like that was just one version, that was one universe of the Avengers, and they're talking
Right.
about bringing out the Dark Avengers, and then on top of that, like people don't understand that like Wolverine was actually a part of the Avengers.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
a lot of missing characters, but Fox owned them. I mean,
Right.
Blade was part of that situation too.
Right.
I mean, they're talking about making new movies with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
So
The Snipe has been
I'm
in
actually
some talks and meeting with some people at Marvel on, what can be done and what he can do, and what he wants to take part in and how he wants to help, bring this to fruition. And that's a good thing, and people fail to realize that. You know, it's like people, we live in a world now in fandom where people want to complain just to complain, and it sucks because it's like all of these comic book pages. I'm a big person on not sharing false stuff, because what I don't want to do is make a video every time something happens and people are wondering, is that true? Is this true? Is that true? You'll be surprised the amount of inboxes that I get when people asking me, is this true? Is that true? Is this false? Is that false? Because they want to know. The people want to know these things because we live in a world now where comic book movies and stuff are so rampant that it's a everyday, it's a lifestyle now. So when you post something and and people have an expectation of something now based on what we're getting, any one thing can, in a sense, be labeled as true. I mean, let's look at, there was a picture that came out, and then it just, and some of it just goes to show that people just don't pay attention. That's another thing. People just don't pay attention. They don't read sometimes. Like there was a picture, and if the people had really paid attention to what was going on in the picture, they would really see what's up. There was a picture. It was supposedly a picture for the Nintendo shared universe. In the
Mm,
picture was a slate of basically it took a Marvel presentation slate where they've presented some movies in the past, replaced them with some video game movie titles, including Detective Pikachu and the new Super Mario Brothers animated movie is supposed to come out, and they replaced the other text with a bunch of supposed movies, and then it was supposed to culminate in a Super Smash Brothers universe. But what angered me was like, okay, so no, and people started sharing it like it was this was true, like this was real life. What angered me
mm,
was like, who's not paying attention to the fact that that's Kevin Feige in this photo with a Marvel hat on?
mm.
All
Uh,
people saw was these movies, these titles, and they ran with it. Nobody took the time to actually pay attention to read. So what was happening was the crap was getting shared and people were going along believing, oh, this is going to happen. No, open your eyes, pay attention. I have people who inbox who will send me pictures like that and ask me, is this real? And I tell them either yes, it is real, or no, it's not real, because we just can't have people out here just believing any old thing. It's harmful to what we do and what we love and what we watch when you just have people just believing whatever. You know,
oh, that's true.
it sucks.
I mean, when it comes down to it, people don't understand. Like you cannot believe everything that is on the internet. That's why
Hmm.
we got problems now.
Right.
Everything on the internet is not true. That is, people like to troll and mess with people.
Hmm.
It like people. I don't understand what people get out of doing that. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. I don't get it. I don't think anybody gets why people do what they do on the
Right.
internet. It's like maybe they're so miserable they feel like they got to make other people miserable in their own aspect,
Hmm.
and that sucks for them. But like, you need to do your research.
True.
That's research is important. Always do your research.
Always.
Heck, I mean, heck, you corrected me on a statement because obviously I didn't do enough research. So, yes, Anthony Anthem when he meant when he's wrong,
Right.
because
Right.
Anthony Anthem is wrong right
Right.
now. So, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and go cry in the car and
I know it'll go
reflect on what
cry in the car.
I want to go cry in the car like I read. It's like it's time for me to cry like it's Friday. It's like, man, that was my grandmama chain. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. But no, but yes, research is important in any
Right. Right.
fandom. Always remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
True. True.
And I threw in the Uncle Ben line. So with that, okay, as we move on and we move forward, so so you're a big gamer, correct?
Somewhat. Somewhat. We do have a segment on our channel called Gaming Nation. There is a new episode up now where some of my guys they get on and they record and discuss some of the newest and latest things in video games and movies, video game movies and anything video games they discuss. So a new episode of that is currently up on the channel. Me, on the other hand, I'm not a huge gamer. Like my biggest thing is Nintendo. I'm currently playing Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 on the Nintendo Switch. It's an amazing game. It really is. I like the Lego games. They are fun.
Yeah, Lego's really never disappointed in that aspect. They've always made like good games to where, okay, this is perfect. Anybody can play them, whether you're an adult or you're a kid.
Oh yeah.
Like if somebody dies, it's more like an explosion. They put them back together. Like
Mhm.
it's funny. Like
Mhm.
it's super
Hilarious.
hilarious. That's why I like the Lego movie series did so well, is because like you get a little bit of the superhero aspect, but you also get some fun out of it, and it was enjoyable. Because
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie though, I didn't even know Tiffany Haddish was in the Lego movie until somebody explained it to me. I was like, huh?
I saw no purpose in doing that second movie because it when I watched the trailer, I was like, no, they just could have left that first movie what it was. I really saw no purpose in doing the second one, and apparently the people in the box office didn't either because it has not done well at all.
They were trying to grab more money. They were trying to see where it went because the first one was
Nah,
a hit.
man, left that alone. You can't always recreate that same you know tenacity. Like that first movie was freaking hilarious. Like there's no recreating that. Like I'm skeptical about this second Angry Birds movie because the first movie was funny. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got on it kind of late, but it was hilarious. So let's see what they do with this second one.
I'm,
Because they got Tiffany Haddish in it too.
Tiffany Haddish is like just on her game to like right now. So, I would grab as many roles as I could too. You
Right,
gotta strike on the iron while it's hot.
right.
Um, but I am gonna say this: like, I remember going to see Angry Birds because I was with an ex at the time, and we were like, man, we're gonna take our daughter out, go watch the Angry Birds movie. It's gonna be a wholesome experience.
Mhm.
And then we were watching the movie, and I was like,
Yep.
oh my god, it's a good thing she's too young to understand
Right,
some,
right. Because
some of the humor in this.
they hit some good humor in it, and it was just overall funny. You know, it really was. I enjoyed it.
To be quite honest, I think they should have like took the concept of Angry Birds and made it an adult movie the way it was going.
Right.
Especially the one scene where they were like going to find the superhero like bird. I can't
Hmm.
remember his name or whatever. And like they was like swimming in the water, like drinking the water and stuff. And all of a
Hmm.
sudden he's peeing in the water, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely that kind of movie."
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was funny though. I enjoyed it though. Like, certain things don't need sequels though. I will say
True.
that.
True.
Um, Now, when they did Lego Batman, I didn't mind that. When they did the Lego
Yeah.
Batman
Definitely
movie,
didn't mind that at all. It was good.
everybody was talking about how much they liked the Batman in that movie better than the current Batman.
I don't know. I absolutely love my man as Batman. I told people when it came out that Ben Affleck was going to be an amazing Batman, and he did not disappoint me at all.
I'm going to say this: I think he's a good Bruce Wayne, and I did actually like the fight scenes. He showed out in the fight scenes.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. I think people didn't just give it a chance enough on some aspects. I
Hmm.
like Ben Affleck. I liked his movies back when he was working with Jason Mewes and them.
Right.
So that's always been like a thing. I've seen Ben Affleck in multiple roles since I was a little kid.
Right. Right.
So I ain't got no hey. He did better than the Daredevil movie
Right.
because that was rough. That was that was a rough
Oh yeah.
current. That was a rough event. And then it got worse with the Electra movie.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I shouldn't speak that back in his instance. We're just gonna go ahead and just kill that noise right now. Um,
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think to be honest, I think he redeemed himself by doing Batman. But I think a lot of people were just kind of, upset that like was it Chris Bell that Christopher Bell didn't do reprise his role, but they were like, okay, we got to get
Well,
somebody
the
new,
whole
fresh.
It was not a. It wasn't not a matter of him reprising his role. This was a new franchise.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't the same. This wasn't the same thing. You know.
And people wanted it to be the same thing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a different alternative Batman, like different universe. And like it or not, he ended up doing that movie with the Superman versus Batman movie,
Right.
and he did Justice League. He basically did his movies, and whether people like it or not, he got paid from them.
True. That's true.
So, I mean, I think he put a valiant effort, regardless if people don't like it or not. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and just say, yeah, like it's done. Like, I know they're trying to work on the new Batman. Um, who knows what's gonna happen with that? I saw the
They
trailer
don't
for,
know what's going to happen.
yeah. I mean, one thing that I do have a problem with, like, fandoms or whatever. Like, fans have gotten too out of control. Like, they're almost entitled.
Yep.
And I was actually talking to somebody the other day. I was shout out to the Realm of the Mist. I was talking to them because we had a sit down. We were talking about entitlement because we were going over, like, Star Wars and everything.
Mhm.
And I remember the Star Wars fans were harassing some of the girl in the cast, like talking about, oh no, this cast member was an Asian, this cast member is a girl, this is stupid, this is not what I read in the blah 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 situation, da da da, and they're
Right. Right.
harassing these girls to the point where they gotta go ahead and, like, just shut down their social media because
Yep.
fans were being ruthless and just going after their personal features and all that. And I was
Right.
just like, oh, it was like, no, like, and people do it in the Marvel universe and the DC universe too.
Of course. Of course.
You always have those fans that just kind of like take it to a whole extreme. It's like, hey, it's a different universe. It's a movie. It's supposed to be fun. Now you're just making this about you.
Right. Right.
That gets dangerous.
It gets toxic, and that's
Like,
there goes the phrase toxic fandom.
those are the fans that I try to stay away from. Like, if it's
Right.
to a point where you got to go out of your out of your day, out of your time to go try to ruin somebody's life because
Right.
you somewhat don't like the way the studio did this or that. Like, whatever, man. Like, it's a movie. It's supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be something for kids and adults alike to just enjoy, some escapism. I feel like
True.
that's important. Everybody's got to escape a little bit. I mean, look at the world we live in.
True.
Sometimes the world we live in is very hard.
Very.
And so I'm thankful for these movies. I'm thankful I live in a time where I've gotten to see some of my favorite superheroes growing up, like, kicking butt for about an hour and a half to 2 hours,
Hmm.
3 hours. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's important. Like, that's important in these movies. It's supposed to be the escape. It's supposed to be
It's vital.
visuals. Yeah, it's vital. Like, we're seeing visuals we couldn't have saw, like, in the early 90s.
Correct. We're talking about stuff like Spider-Man hanging onto a web attached to a Pegasus with Valkyrie on it with the Infinity Gauntlet in his hand.
Yes. That's what I'm
That
saying.
type
Like,
that type of stuff.
I mean, could you imagine this in 1993,
Not
94?
at all. Not at all, baby.
It's like, I never thought I would see a live action Spider-Man. And it was so, like, people always complain, like, oh, Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker, but he wasn't a good Spider-Man. Or Garfunkel was a good Spider-Man, but not a good Peter Parker. And then we got Tom Holland, which
Right.
I love Tom Holland. But,
Absolutely adore the man.
oh, I mean, literally, that kid is like every aspect of Peter Parker and Spider-Man combined.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I want to sit here and say I enjoyed the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man too. I remember watching the first Spider-Man movie, and it was 4th of July weekend. I was in Chicago with my mom. My mom was doing some business out in Chicago, and I remember just looking at this movie, and I was just like literally my jaw dropped for the whole movie just
Oh yeah.
watching this, like, because Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes.
Right.
This goes back to all the cartoons and all that. So seeing that one of my favorite superheroes of all time, like as like a young preteen teenager, seeing him doing the things he was doing, just acrobatics, the way they had the CGI set up, the the storyline, it was
Oh, of course.
it was the it was like the best couple hours of my life.
Right.
It
Right.
literally made my summer. I feel like people have taken away the important aspects of just being amazed.
Right. You're right.
I mean, sorry, I'm getting all deep and on my soapbox. My bad, dude.
Oh no, you good, man. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah, man. Like, I just enjoy watching films. Like, I
Right.
like watching. I enjoy this type of content. Like, superheroes is my jazz, man. Like, I love superheroes. I like Super Sentai. I like a little bit of Kamen Rider. I mean, I like a lot of things, man. Like, for me, I don't have to be a fan of just one thing. That's just
You never should.
almost, yeah, it's like I like to try flavors of all different types in the pot. Like, let's
True.
say it's a Korean hot pot. You can almost have anything in the Korean hot pot.
Right.
That's how I feel about like nerdom, if that's the best way to say it. I am a huge nerd and I am proud of it.
Me too.
That's one of the things I can get away. I can escape. I
Hmm.
can. Even if it's playing a video game for a couple hours, watching a dope movie, or maybe just reading a comic. Like I would
True.
say, comic books can be a really good read for even like the kids or whatever. Like, hey, at least they're reading something.
Right. Increased literacy. And some of the conversations and dialogues in comic books are more advanced than to be sitting there reading. The dog hopped on the cat, and then the cat hopped on the moon, and then the moon hopped on the stars. The end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You go from that to conversations like we have to go downstairs into the basement so we can get the animatronic animals so we can save the world. So kids are learning phrases and dialogue by reading comics.
in the words of
It
Ti.
it, uh, it helps them be better conversationalists because now we live in a world where there are children and I see it every day. There are children, I call them children, with 13, teenagers and stuff like that. They do not know how to talk. you know, it's sad. They don't know how to talk, and you probably wonder, don't know how to talk. What you mean? I work for a cell phone company. Okay, I get people
Yeah.
coming there all the time, and the mom and dad be like, we come to do an upgrade, and what kind of phone you want? Well, man, what kind of phone do they want? Well, tell them what you
Mm.
want. Tell them what you want. And then I get this. Oh, get an iPhone.
Oh,
Could you understand me?
I mean, that was just yeah. I've noticed that like
Male,
communication has gone downhill, man.
young females. This is young females and young males as well. I want to get an iPhone. And because I was taught to enunciate. That's what I was taught that as a child. And I would sit there and say, "You want to do what?" Oh,
Right.
I want to get an iPhone. Okay, what kind? 7 Plus. Okay, let me go get you one. And that wakes them up. And then you get some parents that say, "Yeah, you told you need to start speaking up." And I'll be preaching to them like, we live in a world now where you're gonna have to talk for yourself when your parent is not around. You're gonna have
Facts.
to open your mouth for yourself. If somebody asks you, what's your social? If somebody asks you, when you're doing something legal, of course, not just any random person asks you what's your social, but somebody asks you, somebody says, we want to give you $1,000 scholarship. We want you to tell us why you should get it. And then you can't hold a full conversation and you enunciate yourself and talk. It's gonna go to the next person. It's gonna go to the next person that knows how to open their mouth and talk and knows how to open their mouth and speak.
True.
And then what?
Hey, closed mouths don't get fed.
Correct.
I mean, and that's the same thing. My mom instilled that in me and my little brother. Like, we can't go around just, mama like this. Like, okay, the only
Uh,
person I know that gets away with that is Shaq. And even
yeah,
then, Shaq
but
is
I
rich.
know what Shaq's saying. That's just Shaq's height that has him talking like that. Can't help it.
I mean,
You
he
know,
really can't. It's like,
he
me and Kobe, we were passing the ball. And then it was,
right,
I mean, it's better than Charles Barkley. I will
right.
say that, though.
Now
Like,
Charles Barkley speaks up too. It's just real country. I don't understand. Charles Barkley is from Alabama.
wait, but Charles is from Alabama?
Yes, Charles Barkley went to Auburn University.
That
Charles
actually
Charles
makes
is
so
from
much.
this way.
Now, listen here. LeBron James,
Right.
like, he's a knucklehead.
But at least I can understand what Charles saying.
I mean,
You
so,
know?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, and they're in positions where they have to speak. They're
Correct.
speaking constantly throughout the NBA season. But the point is, though, like, if you want to be a success, you got to have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why, like, I'm able to do this podcast and have dialogue with folks like yourself. It's because I've learned over the years the art of conversation, and I feel like that's becoming lost in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of aspects. Like, I feel like, when we were kids, man, and like, we're kind of like, we're like, I know we're a little different in age a little bit. Like, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, you're 28. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
then we're about the same age group then, man. Cause I'm 29.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you already know what I'm talking about, man. We grew up in the 90s, so there was no cell phones. We
At
didn't get
all.
no. Yeah, like
We
the
talk.
first. Exactly. We looked each other eye contact. If we wanted to talk to somebody, we had to verbally talk to them. If we wanted somebody to come outside, we had to yell for them outside, like, "Hey, come outside!" Like, let's go ride our bikes.
Right. Right.
Like, I mean, now, like, I sit, like, I'll be sitting at a restaurant or something like that with some friends or family or something, and I look over and it's like four kids at the table. They all on their cell phones texting each other. I'm like, like, you got this tool that's been around for a long time since civilization. It's called a voice. You have
Right.
a voice box. Um, you should probably use it. I mean, it's a great communication tool. It's free.
Yeah.
Um,
You were born with it.
you were born with it. It's like it's it's amazing what you can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have extra dialogue because let me ask you this: what is your thoughts on texting, man?
Texting. Um, we live in a world now where texting is very vital, and it's something that I myself even have to break myself up from sometimes because sometimes we don't have the time to sit and talk. You know, so if I got to get you to know something, I've got to shoot you a text. At least it'll be there and you can read it. And then when we do get a chance to discuss it, we can sit down and talk about it. We will have already created some type of dialogue electronically already. And then when we do get together, we can go deeper into it. Prime example, right now, me and my wife are looking for a new place to stay. Okay. So throughout the run of the day, based on our work schedules, I might send her a link to a house that I looked at, vice versa from her to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get together, it's okay. Now let's look at what we sent each other today. Let's
Okay.
talk about what we sent each other today. Because if I'm at work, I can't I can't talk to her all day long at work while I'm on and be on the phone. That's just something
True.
that can't happen. So it's I either wait or you go ahead and create that conversation, and then when you get around each other, you're able to go ahead and have that full conversation. You know?
See, I think that's where people make a mistake is they try to have like full on dialogue and arguments on the phone, and I'm
Right.
like for instance, the other day, I was like, I was talking to somebody like via text because
Uh-huh.
I was actually in the middle of an interview, and I was like, hey, I'm kind of busy right now. Text me back later. And then for some reason, I'm getting angry texts back like, oh, you ain't got no time for me, blah, blah, blah. I was like, and
Right.
then I realized it was all in caps. And I was like, oh, look, I'm not mad or nothing like that. I'm not tripping or nothing like that. It's just, I'm on, like, I'd rather just have a conversation with you to explain everything after my interview. And, like, some people will really mistake that. Like, if you bust a caps locks on somebody, it can cause a problem.
Right.
Yeah, like there's just certain ways text work. Like it's
True.
one thing if it's like simple communication, but you try to have a full on conversation because man, let me put it like this. I don't know if I've seen more breakups over bad texting or Monopoly.
Right.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people go down in Monopoly or Uno. That ruins relationships.
I'm gonna tell you something else that can ruin relationships. Mario Party.
Oh my gosh, burn it to the ground. I've seen, I've seen. Okay, literally. Okay, so I went to Japan a long time ago. Okay, and I had host sisters. Okay, they brought their friends over, right?
Hmm.
And we were playing Mario Party. By the end of that game, I found out those same friends that came over didn't never come over again. They were done because
Right.
the room. Yeah, it was that bad.
Mario Party is that game.
I was just like, well, Nintendo, what are we gonna do today?
Right.
It's like, I was thinking we should make a party game. All of a sudden you just see like the door from the bottom of the Nintendo office like just like show up all of a sudden, and all of a sudden you just see like fire shoot out, and then it's just like, oh, did you summon me? And I'm like,
Right.
I was like, that's basically how Mario Party got started. Because man, that game could be one of the longest games ever.
It
It's,
can, but man, it's my game that I absolutely love to play, man. I love me some Mario Party.
yeah, it's like I mean, the one thing I love about it is it's a giant board game full of mini games. It's a game
Oh
inside
yeah,
of a game inside of a game. I mean, we can go down a list of like different party games they have for it. Like you're gonna get pretty much almost all the aspect of different Mario series just in smaller format.
of course.
And I actually do find it fun. But I'm not gonna lie, am I gonna break that out the next like big party of friends? That's one of those things I gotta be very careful about how I use it.
Yeah, I do it. I do it in a heartbeat, man. I love me some Mario Party.
Well, shoot, I mean, shoot, I ain't gonna hate no Mario Party, but I do love that Mario Kart and Mario Tennis. So that's my jam. I've always,
Of course, of course.
all right. So, my man, so you're a huge Nintendo fan. Is Nintendo your go-to, like primarily
All day, every day.
all day, every day? Nintendo to the day you die. Got you. Okay, so do you play Smash Bros at all?
Most definitely, most definitely. I'm a big Smash Brothers fan.
Who's your character right now in Smash Brothers?
I have not had a lot of time to play the new one like I've wanted to. My work schedule had been kind of hectic for a good little minute. Now it's starting to fizzle out, so now I'm able to do a lot more gaming like I want to. But if I can go back to the previous edition of no, I was about to say Mario Party of Smash Brothers, it has to be Lucario. Lucario is my dude.
You and my brother would get along. He loves the card. He likes using the Pokemon characters.
Right,
That's always been his thing. He's really good with Pichu,
right,
surprisingly. I was like, how are you good with something that damages itself on the shot?
right.
He likes using him and Lucas. Now me, I've been a Star Fox guy and a Falco guy for the longest. It's been going on since like Brawl.
Right.
Like that's been my thing. I love using the Star Fox characters, and I've also gotten into using the Street Fighter characters too. Also, I want to make a petition right now. We need Chun-Li in the game. It needs to happen. If you're gonna put
Wow.
yes, I'm just gonna put it out in the air. Oh, universe and Nintendo gods, please let us have Chun-Li. You will not regret it. If we can get Bayonetta, we can get Chun-Li. This
Right.
can
Right.
Let's make it happen. If we can have Joker from Persona 5, we can have Chun-Li.
Right.
Come on,
Which, you know,
universe.
with some of these people I've never even heard of before because there are a lot of things that I haven't been introduced to. So when I'm seeing some of these new characters, I'm like, who's Bayonetta? Like, why does she have guns in the bottom of her shoes? You know?
Oh, she's a witch.
Right.
Yeah, she has her own video game series. Basically, it's like the female Devil May Cry.
Gotcha.
If that's the best way to explain that one. Yeah,
Gotcha.
like I had to keep myself up to date on some of these characters too. I was just like, what the heck is the split? What's a Splatoon?
Right. Right.
What is yeah? Like I didn't know what Splatoon was until somebody. I was like, oh, they have like international tournaments for this game.
Yeah, they get serious with that Splatoon, man.
I was like, man, it's Funk on side on Splatoon. I actually got to check it out like a couple months ago because I had never played it. Oh,
Hmm.
that game is actually really really fun. I had a
Right.
good
Right.
time playing it. I was like, okay, it's like it's got a kid feel to it, so I can definitely see like my niece is playing this, something like that, and not have to worry about like somebody like getting engulfed in the flames or something. I mean, it's great for the kids, but it's also very competitive, and
It
I like
really
to
is.
play competitive. Yeah, I like to play competitive games, so that always excites me to see that kind of stuff. So, I mean, like for instance, all right, you can judge me on this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the air. So, people that listen to this podcast, be ready, because I know I'm about to get judged right here. I play Overwatch.
I've never played that.
Um, basically, let me just put it like this for you. Okay, so it's made by Blizzard, right?
Hmm.
It's a it's a shooting game, but it's a shooting game with different characters with different styles.
Right.
Like some of them can use cloaking abilities and uh, hacking abilities to giant robots to um, healing factors and have special moves when you get to a certain point. I mean, the
Hmm.
game is insane. Like this game is like bigger than sliced bread right now. It's still hot, even though it came out years ago.
Right.
Like I just got into it myself. I'm enjoying it because of the competitive aspect of it. If I recommend it, man, I would definitely check it out. If you don't mind shooters, I think you would have an interesting time with it.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, people, you wanna try to get at me, Anthem 816. That's how you can find me. PC version. Yes, I accept all challenges. I'm just letting you know I kind of suck, but anyway. So man, so what are some of the current projects you have coming up? Like what's
I
going?
took a break from conventions for a minute, but now we're getting ramped back up. I have a convention I'm going to next weekend in Mobile, Alabama called MobiCon. So I'll be in MobiCon for the day, rocking it out with the people down there. And then I'll have a small break. And I will, well, no, it'll be a long break. No. I forgot. This is the end of May. So the end of June, like I said, I'll be in at Atlanta for Ranger Stop, and then in July I'll be in Birmingham, Alabama for Alabama Comic Con. So got a pretty busy schedule coming up, man. Got a pretty busy schedule. Other than that, just keeping up with all the things that go on the TV and movies that we currently see, and yeah, that's about it for me, man.
I can dig it, man. All right, one quick question. This is just about you. So you're married. So how long you been married, my man?
Going on 7 years.
Oh, you got married when you were 21.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, so how'd you guys meet?
Facebook.
Really?
Yeah,
Hey, if e-hardening doesn't work, check out Facebook.
yeah,
It can change a lifetime.
it can. It can.
So you met her via Facebook. Does she live in Alabama as well?
Right. Yeah.
So you were just like, oh man, I gotta get mine right here.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, congratulations, man, on 7
Appreciate that.
years.
Appreciate that.
Um, I wish you many more on that one. And
Appreciate that.
th- thank you so much for doing this, Mr. Bank. Like, it's been like a pleasure talking to you. I hope I didn't talk your head off.
Oh, no problem, man. This is what I do anyway. So hey, we're here.
Yeah. I mean, and you got to keep me updated on whatever you got going on, man. Like, let the people know where they can find you at. Like,
Most
that's
definitely,
important.
guys. Most definitely, guys. If you don't know who we are already, we're at Fandoms Anonymous. That's Fandoms Anonymous. We're all over social media, right on YouTube, where you can find all of our content. We're on YouTube. You can also see us on Instagram. That's at Fandoms_Anonymous 17. Also, catch us on Facebook as well. You can join the Facebook group and also follow the Facebook page. So, and we're also on Anchor and wherever podcasts can be heard. We can catch us on some good podcasts too, man. So we're always having a good time, man.
Yeah, man. Let me know when you do a podcast, man. I would love to be a part of it.
Most
Like
definitely,
whatever
most
you got
definitely,
going on. Like maybe coming soon. We'll see.
most
Uh,
definitely.
and ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me at Delivery Bros 816 on Twitter and um, on Instagram. You can also follow me at Anthony Anthem on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Delivery Bros KC on Facebook. And check us out. Like, we have great content as well. You can find us on Anchor FM as well, in all media platforms if you want to check out the podcast as well. And with that, this has been another edition of the Delivery Bros, where anything's on the menu, anything's on the table. And with that, this is Anthony Anthem, aka the Midnight Marauder, aka kicking just like Kato, aka smashing like a tomato, aka the sauce, the boss. Okay, I'm done. Rick Ross. And with that, we are out.
Hey everyone, this is John Tolley, inviting you to check out War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Each week, me and my co-host Christopher Stolley discuss the news and theories surrounding one of the largest movie franchises in the world. So join us every Wednesday at 8 Eastern as we travel to the galaxy far, far away, right here on Anchor FM and wherever fine podcasts are heard.
You know, when you need CBD, vape juice, or a new mod, go to Vape Scorpion. 10859 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116. They are formerly known as East Coast Vapor. They have all your needs, all the equipment, all the juice. And hey, while you're there, sit down, enjoy a beer, bring your own, and just hang out with a bunch of cool people. So guys, if you really need your next vape machine, or maybe you just want to try a locally made juice, make sure you hit up Vape Scorpion. That's 1085 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116. Or give a call to 215-464-8273. Oh yeah, and make sure you let them know that Realm of the Mist Entertainment sent you.
Why didn't the Three Little Pigs go in for some kind of flat share scheme?
Does Jesus get to choose which wine he turns it into?
Why don't Sims have the upper body strength to climb out of a swimming pool?
And does everybody really want to be a cat?
I'm Will Baker.
And I'm Alex Prescott.
And if you're the type of person that overthinks these deep philosophical questions, then Think to the Brink is the podcast for you.
From Disney characters to song lyrics, debates to social etiquette, tune in every week for your dose of paralysis by analysis.
All topic suggestions are welcome. If you can think it, we can overthink it. Think to the Brink. Available on all podcast platforms.
Hey everyone, this is Dak.
This is Liam.
And this is White People Shit.
We are a bi-weekly podcast.
Whoa. Maybe you're bi-week. I'm straight and strong.
It means twice a week, you douche.
Oh. Yeah, listen to us twice a week. On White People Wednesdays, we talk about gay stuff, zombies, superhero sex positions.
And on Featured Peep Fridays, we interview the Featured Peep of the Week.
Yeah, like a fucking furry.
Just search WPS Podcast and look for the white dude in red pajamas.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
We believe in equal opportunity humor, where all things can be made fun of. So if your feelings get hurt and you're offended, you can always
eat a dick.
He said that she said, how dare you say that? That's offensive. Well, someone's gotta say it. It had to be said with Venus. Catch the live show Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out the recordings at any time. Guest host weekly. Listener, beware. Mature content, sexual content, trigger warning. Do you dare say it?
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here to tell you about Realm of the Mist podcast. Realm of the Mist podcast, we talk about all the great entertainment things from movies, music, books, comic books, and many, many other forms of entertainment, as well as politics, current events, and just general humor and having a good time. If you're looking for a podcast that is right up your alley, look no further than Realm of the Mist podcast here on Anchor.fm or where fine podcasts can be heard.
Hi, this is Dave from the Comic Collection at 83 Bustleton Pike in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Our phone number is 215-357-3332. We are right next to Northeast Philadelphia. We have action figures, gaming, statues, albums, and CDs, graphic novels, other knickknacks, and, of course, comics. Established in 1985, we are your go-to store. Come by and say hello, and say that the guys from Radiocast FM Radio sent you. The address again is 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or call 215-357-3332.
Three-eyed turtle? Is that alright?
What the fuck is a three-eyed turtle?
Who wants a mustache ride?
Are you tired of the same old podcasts with no humor? Well, join us for After Hours, where everything is funny, at least to us, on Anchor.fm and where quality podcasts are heard.
How the fuck did we get on this?
I don't know.
Fucking FCC started this shit. It's their fucking fault.